I like him.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
So I got a few comments on Zach Edey, and people say you need to talk about him. The Spurs need a big man, dude. You gotta talk about the big man. So let's talk about Zach Edey. And once again, you know, a little disclaimer, I'm not necessarily a college fan. Like, I've just gotten into college more so than ever before because our San Antonio Spurs, they need some players. Let's be honest, they need some players. So this is not coming from somebody who's just been so enthralled in college No, I'm not. I haven't been, but I'm trying to be. I'm trying to get better. So if there's anything in this video that you want to correct or you want to say, no, I want to put my 2 cents in, please do. In the comments, please do. I'm all ears. I'm not the dictator of all things basketball. I'm the dictator of all things Spurs. So let's talk about Zach Edey. So first and foremost, I always start with the stats. So I'm going to give you my impressions of him after we talk about this. So 14.4 points, 7.7 rebounds, 1.2 assists, 64.8% field goal percentage. Pretty good. Now, one thing that you want to, obviously I haven't mentioned it yet. One thing that you want to bring up is that he's 6'4". He's freakishly tall, okay? 295 pounds, 6'4". Overall, looking through his stats, he's a decent player. He was at least a player for Purdue that they could actually lean on, rely on, and he was always kind of there to show. And a lot of people have called this basically his breakout season. He really just turned it up a notch. Now, how do I feel about him? First and foremost, I will say this. When it comes to players that are this tall, oftentimes I'm very skeptical. And the reason why I'm always skeptical is because of injuries. Players that are this tall, their injuries are atrocious once they're in the NBA. So that's one thing that I do worry about. But one thing as well about people that are this size, players that are this size, is they typically don't have a lot of mobility. But I will say this, from what I've seen, I think he got quite a bit of mobility, especially being at 6'4". It's actually quite impressive. And when we add on the fact that he's more than likely going to be a second round pick to undrafted, oh yeah, I think that will be a really nice pickup no matter who grabs him. So he definitely has mobility and he uses his strength. He uses his body very well to get in the paint and make things happen. Now, one thing I want to bring up though, and I've seen quite a bit of it, and I don't know if the stats necessarily speak for what I'm about to say. Yeah, because it says 1.7, but this is what I'm talking about. His turnovers. To me, I think that he can get a little clumsy with the ball, and that's one thing you do not want from a center. He gets a little clumsy, a little weird with it, and every now and then he get quite a few turnovers, and that's what I'm seeing. And it happens more often than not, and you really don't want that from your big man. Now, while he can use his strength, while I think he has really good mobility for his size, at the end of the day, look, that ball got to take a long way to get down, okay? It's a long road to hit that floor. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty tough for anybody that size to be a phenomenal ball handler, okay? It's just going to be pretty tough. But overall, that is something nonetheless that I think we need to bring up. So, as I always do, I give my thoughts and then we go into pros and cons and I react to what NBA Scouting Live has to say. And I love their website, by the way. They do a phenomenal job. So last updated March 24th, so not too long ago. All right, so this is their impressions of him. Second round to undrafted. I did see that quite a few places. He might be a little higher now, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure second round. I don't think he'll be undrafted. I just want that out there. Pros. Decent low post score. Yeah, we said that. That's what I was saying, where he kind of uses his body pretty well. Excels at scoring on off-ball motion plays. They say this about every player, so I just kind of ignore it. Sets good screens for his teammates on offense. I haven't seen a lot of that. But if you're sitting at 7'4", excuse me, nearly 300 pounds, you better give some good screens. Good rebounder. Yeah. Knack for around the rim. I did see that. Decent shot blocker. Yeah, decent. Some people will say like, well, with you being 7'4", you're going to be a phenomenal blocker, right? And that's not necessarily always the truth. But I will say that he has enough mobility to his game where some years down the line, he could be a legitimate threat in the paint. He's not bad. He's a pretty good shot blocker. But what I mean by threat, I definitely mean like on ball. Because here's another thing as well, and I want to bring this up before we finish off the pros and cons. One thing about centers, especially in the NBA, is centers, a really good center, a really good big man is somebody that can basically guard 1 through 5. Now, I know that sounds like absolutely nuts and crazy. It's like, obviously a center can't guard a point guard. Yeah, obviously, but they can at least kind of hold their ground or hold that area fairly well. Those are the really good centers. Those are really good power forwards. And when you're 7'4", there's absolutely no way. I don't think you'll ever have enough mobility to be able to do that. And what I mean by that is Giannis, for example, Draymond Green, which obviously is way shorter than 7'4", but Draymond Green, he's a player that I know people don't talk about this, but he kind of helped change the game, or at least have the NBA go into that transition of big men guarding multiple positions. So it's something that's important. Every now and then you can get away with it, okay? Or Rudy Gobert, right? You can get away with it every now and then, but for the most part, these big men can at least hold their ground at the very least. And I just have a hard time believing 7'4" you're going to be able to do that. Moving on. Cons: needs to improve his face-up game. Sure. Must extend his shooting range. I didn't see a lot of this, but yeah, 3-point shooting is non-existent. Actually, I will argue if he got a 3-point shot, that would be absolutely nuts. That would be crazy. Let's see. Can miss easy shots around the basket. That's kind of what I was saying, where he's kind of weird with the ball in his hand sometimes. Needs to improve his playmaking skills. Sure. Struggles to defend quicker play. Oh, well, that's what I said right there. That's what I said right there. This is something that I don't think is going to change. I'm sorry. I just don't know if that's going to change. When you being 6'4", it's going to be virtually impossible. One thing that you have to be really great at, to me, is shot blocking. You got to be a really good shot blocker. Because that's the only way Rudy Gobert has managed to be so good in the league, is his defense. So that's one thing that you're going to have to step up a little bit. Oh, that's funny that I said that, though. Only an average athlete. Yeah, not a crazy athlete. Here we go. Edey is a strong physical center that can overpower opponents in the middle to score, rebound, and block shots in the paint. He'll need to expand upon his skills set on offense and show that he can match up to quicker, more athletic opponents. Currently, he projects to be a borderline second-round candidate for the 2022 draft. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But I really do like his game. I know there was kind of some negativity there, but honestly, it's just a matter of taking care of the basketball, extending his game, and I think that he has enough versatility that's impressive for a 7'4", where he can hold his own in the NBA. But I would not expect him to go to the Spurs and be the big man solution, if you will. But anybody that grabs him, I think that he'll be a really good piece to any team. So overall, guys, let me know what you think. If you want to support the channel, as always, man, it's only $2 per month, bro. Like, come on, man. You don't have $2 for the month. I'm just kidding. It's only $2 per month. Patreon, YouTube members. I'll get with you guys later. Till next time. Deuces.